I couldn't help myself with that intro.
Yo, Kottonmouth Kings don't stand for a gang. Kottonmouth Kings just let the nuts hang.
So I've heard some of you guys are getting banned from the new KMK Facebook groups and whatnot, the KMK Army or PTB whatevers, and what have you. And apparently those pages expect nothing but positive vibes and a don't ask, don't tell policy. I believe it was not a place for drama of the past, as I believe it was worded on one of those Facebook pages. Well, you're all welcome here at Staunch TV, day and night, guys. Come on down. So I was lost in KMK land recently when I saw some fans talking about the track Sleepers being a supposed response to Insane Clown Posse. Which, Sleepers, I always heard was a response to a diss track that apparently Saint Dog did against the Kings. I don't know, not sure. What have you guys heard? But that got me thinking anyways about the KMK ICP beef from days past. And I thought, well, I would try to get whatever narrative I could going, using interviews and such, and hopefully with the help from you guys in the comments, we can get more into it and maybe do a follow-up video. Now, it's really no secret how rowdy the Kings were back in the day. There's some funny stories about Saint Dog being quite the handful back then. In fact, an early butting of heads between camps was documented as early as 1998. According to an old MTV News article that goes like this: a band too rowdy for the Insane Clown Posse? While it seems hard to believe, that is apparently the situation with the Kottonmouth Kings, who were dropped as the openers for ICP's fall tour over the weekend. In a written statement, the Kings claimed that they were fired for excessive drug use, rowdiness, and inciting riotous behavior, and that the final straw came when the Clown Posse discovered that its opening act were trading backstage passes for marijuana. Representatives for the Insane Clown Posse confirmed that the Kottonmouth Kings were indeed booted from the tour for trading passes for drugs, among other things. "We were broke as a joke and needed more smoke," Kings rapper Brad X explained in a statement. What would you do? While the band is now on a forced hiatus from the road, turntablist Bobby B is headed into the studio to work on Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee's solo album. Ah, shit, y'all remember when Tommy Lee went nu metal? Oh, subscribe to Staunch TV and I'll be ranting about that mess soon enough. But you know, it turns out a lot of that drama got put on Saint, and the real beef, so to speak, was still to come. For a while there, it was known that there was a rift between camps, but nobody really knew why. I mean, these dudes were tight as hell at one point, KMK being on the very first gathering and such. But Violent J eventually came clean. Daddy X of the Kottonmouth Kings is a ninja that I've known for many moons. The first time I met him was in 1996. He was in a band called the Humble Gods. Both his band and ours were signed to Hollywood Records at the time. We both had the same A&R guy named Julian Raymond. A few years went by and Brad went on to form the Kottonmouth Kings, and the rest is history. One thing I've always loved about Brad and his homies was that they always made me and Shaggy feel special. They know we are scrubs and that we ain't much on parties and bitches and all that, but yet they always made us feel like one of them. They never made us feel low about anything. Then came the Funhouse tour. The Kottonmouth Kings were set to do the entire tour of this. Me and Shaggy always had a little trouble getting along with Saint Dog of the Kottonmouth Kings. He was kind of like the wild one of the crew. He would get real worked up sometimes and say the wrong thing. But the real problem came with my road crew and Saint Dog. They really had beef. Finally, we had to kick them off the tour, mostly because of Saint Dog acting wild and doing wild things. My crew voted and they were off. As for me and Shaggy, we really didn't have any problems with any of them. Only a few minor problems with Saint, but that was it. Anyway, life went on for everybody. The tour ended and everything was cool, and time went by. I guess the Kottonmouth Kings started having a few problems of their own with Saint Dog, as he got booted out. I really don't know what went wrong, or if he in fact was kicked out. I'm just speculating. Whatever the case, Saint Dog is out of the group, and that's something that I ain't necessarily sad about myself. because I love each and every other member of KMK, and I wish them the best. We did a song with them on their new album, and they were going to do a song with us for our Bizarre Bazaar album, but the next thing we knew, we had all 28 songs done with no special guest, so we just kind of forgot about it. And I wanted them on the record badly too, but the 28 songs we did so far, I love them too much to change them, whatever. I'm sure we'll do 1,000,000 songs together with KMK in the future, so it don't matter that much. Next thing I knew, we started getting 1,000,000 email and phone calls asking what the hell's going on in California. Everybody started telling us that KMK are doing a concert with Eminem. We couldn't believe it. And I called Brad, and he explained that the show is very important to him and that they have to do it. I told him that if KMK does this show, we have no choice but to end our friendship with them. I explained Eminem is not just an enemy of ours, but in fact pulled a gun out on my homie, dissed us in many magazines, dissed us by name on his 5 million selling album and such, and on and on. Brad said that he was upset that we played a show with Limp Bizkit, and they hate them apparently. I tried to explain to Brad that the only show we ever did with them was on Woodstock, and that we didn't even play the same day. Also, Limp Bizkit has never dissed KMK on record or pulled guns out on anybody. Therefore, we didn't think that beef was that big. Brad then explained to me that he understands my concern, but he doesn't like the fact that ICP is trying to put an ultimatum on them. They said where they play and whom they play with is KMK's business, and they're going to do whatever they want to do. I told him that we feel that's understandable and all that, but the only problem we have is that we would never do a show with bitter enemies of KMK's. In fact, the only way we do a show with somebody that KMK hates is to beat their ass for them. Well, they didn't feel the same, so I told Brad our friendship was over. I thought about this night after night. We talked about it at Psychopathic Records the next day. We read the emails from Juggalos both for and against our decision. Finally, I came to this conclusion. Fuck Eminem. In no way will I ever let that feminine little bitch made Richie rich end my friendship with the Kottonmouth Kings. I'm down with KMK, and I'll love them forever. Whether or not they do 10 full-on tours with Eminem doesn't matter to me at all. Even if they do, that doesn't change the fact that they're my boys. KMK will do whatever they want, and that's how it should be. I'll worry about ICP and only ICP. The Kottonmouth Kings will do whatever they want with their career, and I support whatever that is. It's none of my business. As long as they never sell us out personally, we will always be down. As long as they never diss us, then they are my homies. I don't care who they share a stage with. Yes, it's true that I will never do a concert with somebody the Kottonmouth Kings hate, but that's the way I think. If you're my homie, then your enemies are my enemies. That's how I was raised. Twisted's foes are my foes. Vampiro's real-life enemies are my real-life enemies. That's what I believe, and I'll never do anything, even a show with an enemy. That's how we think around here at Psychopathic. But so what? People are different, and that's what's so fresh about life. That shouldn't mean we ain't down with them. Fuck that, KMK are my homies. So today the beef does seem to be squashed. Although KMK would go on to have troubles with Twisted, Potluck, and some others. Now I'm working on some videos about Pakalika, Judge D, Funk Junkies, Mower, and some more. If you have any info on those guys or any leads, let me know in the comments, and you might get a shout out in the next video. Always fun chatting with you guys. New episodes of KMK Chronicles every Monday, guys, so be sure to hit that little notification bell. Let's do this. This rips for you, the Loyal Legion of Staunch. You guys kick ass. Thank you so much for watching. See you next Monday.